Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Augusta McDonald. The Lolo Peak Fire exploded on Friday due to strong winds and ongoing dry conditions. Fire managers this morning determined the blaze burned an additional 9,000 acres on Friday, bringing the total area burned to 28,000 acres between Lolo and Florence. Last night, the hillsides glowed orange and flames were seen rising into the air. Evacuations remain in place for hundreds of homes and thousands of residents in the Lolo and Florence areas. Mandatory evacuation orders are in place on the west side of Highway 93 between milepost 82 in Lolo and Long Avenue in Florence. Also, both sides of Highway 12 between milepost 31.5 and milepost 21.7. The order also includes the Mill Creek and Elk Meadows areas, as well as portions of Mormon Creek Road past and including the Van Drive area. An additional 60 to 65 homes on Sleeman Creek Road are also under mandatory evacuation orders. Pre-evacuation notices are in place on the south side of Highway 12 from milepost 31.5 to the Highway 93 intersection in Lolo, and both sides of Highway 12 between milepost 21.7 and milepost 20. The west side of Highway 93 from the intersection with Highway 12 south to milepost 82 and the Stella Blue development are also under pre-evacuation notices. Fire officials say despite the movement of the Lolo Peak Fire Friday and last night, no additional homes have been reported lost. 2 homes off of Highway 93 south of Lolo, as well as several structures, burned when the fire made a run on Thursday. Fire managers this morning announced Highway 12 will now be closed to all traffic west of Lolo. Beginning at Sleeman Creek Road, only fire traffic will be allowed through this area, and all roads into the areas under an evacuation order remain closed due to fire traffic. The Montana National Guard is arriving today to help man checkpoints and patrol evacuated areas to provide relief for overtaxed local law enforcement. Most of the fire activity on Friday was seen along the north end of the fire, where strong west winds pushed the fire to the east. Due to spotting, it burned almost to the Highway 12 corridor, which forced fire managers to request that the route be closed to all non-fire traffic and the Sleeman Creek Road to be evacuated. The blaze also pushed south into the Highway 93 corridor, which resulted in additional evacuations in the One Horse vicinity directly west of Florence by late Friday afternoon and throughout the night. The emphasis changed to structure protection. Senator Steve Daines visited the Lolo Peak Fire this morning. He joined crews for a briefing on fire conditions and containment plans. MTN's Kent Lutzen spoke with Senator Daines, and he joins us live from Lolo with more on this story. Kent.
Thanks, Augusta. Senator Daines received a full tour of the Lolo Peak Fire along with the new command center in Florence. Now, a huge question on everyone's mind was, where is the funding going to come from to continue this fight with the Lolo Peak Fire?
We're going to get the resource that we need here to fight this fire. So I know there's some anxiety right now out there. Will the resource be there? The answer is yes. We've been working with FEMA to make sure we've got the resources we need, as well as with the National Forest Service, the state. We'll have the resources we need to fight this fire.
Daines said he is impressed with groups from federal, state, and local levels' ability to have one priority in mind, and that's keep communities safe. But in order to do so, the state has to have funding. The federal government covers much of the cost of firefighting on federal lands, but Montana also bears a portion of the cost. He said the state will continue to pursue federal assistance, including Federal Emergency Management Administration. As of now, Daines says we have the best crews across the nation working to contain the Lolo Peak Fire.
We have one of the best Type 1 incident commands in the nation right here in this Lolo fire, as it should be. Greg Ponch and the team here are some of the best in the business. Pleased to see that, and you're starting to see the results. We got a few good breaks last night, despite the fact this fire grew 50% in the last 24 hours. The strategy these leaders are deploying, the choices they're making are paying off. We just could use a break in the weather right now.
Daines said that in early August, the top 10 fires across the nation were all in Montana. Reporting live in Lolo, I'm Kent Lutzen, MTN News. Back to you, Augusta.
Alrighty, thank you, Kent. Today around noon, a firefighter working near the ski area at McLean Creek was struck by a rock and fell. Officials report that the firefighter sustained a broken arm and was taken by ambulance to a Missoula hospital. And a red flag warning is in effect for some areas today. Meteorologist Russ Thomas is in the Storm Tracker Weather Center with those details. Russ.
Yeah, that's right. One of the areas covered, unfortunately, is where they're seeing the Lolo Peak fire. Let's go ahead and pop that up for you full screen. This is through 9 p.m. this evening. The main reason for this is wind gusting up to 30 miles per hour. We've seen the winds really pick up this afternoon in the Bitterroot Valley, the Missoula Valley as well. And again, that wind continues to whip through the canyons down there between Lolo, Florence, and even farther south than that. First Security Bank ICAM, you can see right here just how smoky it is in the Bitterroot Valley. Now, interestingly enough, in the Missoula Valley, things have really cleared out today, but those folks in the Bitterroot were concerned about that, and of course, smoke not helping out at all. We'll have your complete forecast coming up for you in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Russ. Missoula County has chosen United Way of Missoula County to be the secure donation portal to support people affected by fires burning in the area. Their website is being updated to include a 2017 fire fund option. To donate, you can visit MissoulaUnitedWay.org and click Donate Now. From there, you can select where you would like your money to go. Click the Update is complete. All of the donations made this week to United Way's Community Impact Fund will go to support those who have been affected by the fires. United Way and 211, the Human Resource Council's helpline, say they will carefully screen all requests so that funds go to the people who need them the most. For more information or if you have any questions, you can call United Way's office at 406-549-6104. And at the Rice Ridge Fire, new trail closures today due to that fire's growth. Both Lodgepole and Montour Creek trailhead are now closed. In the last 2 days, the fire has grown approximately 2,000 acres eastward away from the town of Seeley Lake. As of this morning, the fire is roughly 15,000 acres and the perimeter is about 10% contained. Officials say residents can expect much of the same fire conditions as yesterday. Crews are working to reduce fuels, monitor growth, and suppress the fire from the ground on all sides. The red flag weather warning may contribute to the growth of the fire throughout the day. And what's next? There will be a community meeting held on Monday, August 21st at 6 p.m. at the Seeley Lake Elementary School, so go check that out if you have questions. And as we near Monday's total solar eclipse, thousands across the nation are scrambling to find a pair of ISO-certified Eclipse glasses. The Helena Astronomical Society says their area is no exception, as they sold out of their last remaining 200 pairs in just 13 minutes this morning at the farmers market in Helena. The group had been selling the custom print glasses for $2 in order to raise funds to relocate their telescope and observatory to the Montana Learning Center, which is on Canyon Ferry Lake. Organizers say they sold over 1,000 pairs in the past 3 weeks at the market, including this morning, as the last batch of glasses were quickly bought up. The Helena Astronomical Society also donated 250 pairs of Eclipse glasses to local organizations in the area, including the Shodair Children's Hospital, Farm in the Dell, and Spring Meadow Resources. Club members say they were surprised to see the glasses in such high demand during this morning's market. And in Montana news, Dan and Lila Redding of Redding Farms have opened their private land north of Rudyard to paleontologists for the past 35 years. One section of their land has produced more than a dozen dinosaur skeletons. MTN's Josh Meny takes us to the latest dig.
We're at Kennedy Coulee, about 26 miles directly north of Rudyard and 2.5 miles south of the Canadian border, where 5 paleontologists are excavating what looks to likely be a new species of armored dinosaur. Husband and wife paleontologists Liz and Denver were taking students on a field trip in the Coulee 2 years ago when they spotted armored plates sticking out of the hillside. They came back 2 weeks ago to see what they could dig up.
We didn't know before we started digging how complete this dinosaur was going to be, but we found its head, we found parts of its armor and plates, and so it should be a new species.
You can see the bottom of it down here, and then the mid shaft is quite nice and solid here, and then it widens out to the joint.
Paleontologists say this armored dinosaur skeleton is 79 million years old, and that skeletons of dinosaurs from this unique time period keep popping up.
Over the last 10 or so years that I've been digging here, we've found some really great fossils, and many of them are new species because of the exact age of the rocks where we are right now.
A local high school science teacher explored the Coulee about 35 years ago and told the Reddings they were sitting on a dinosaur boneyard. So, the Reddings invited top paleontologists to their property and discovered it was one of the best fossil sites in the world.
We do it for these students, and the honor we got out of that was looking, when they started as a grad student, now most of them are doctors in their field of study, and all have just done amazing things in the field of paleontology.
Liz in Denver will be bringing the skeleton back to Dickinson Museum Center within the week. Over the next few years, they will clean, study, and make copies of the skeleton. Near Rudyard, Josh Meny, MTN News.
The copies of the skeleton will be kept at Dickinson Museum Center in Dickinson, North Dakota, while the original skeleton will be brought back to the Rudyard Depot Museum in roughly 5 years. Protesters and marchers keep the peace in Boston today, and they keep that civil discourse as tensions simmer following protests in Charlotte a week ago. Stay with us.